Welcome to r/Best of Redditor updates, where a lady goes kinda crazy and thinks that she's this guy's wife. Our next Reddit post is from Angry Widow. My husband, Jonah, passed away unexpectedly a month ago from a stroke. It's the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life, and I'm still not sure how I'm ever going to move on. We were married for 5 years, together for 7. The past 2 years we've been trying for a baby, but we're just getting to the point of considering IVF when he died. Jonah had a close friend in high school named Marjorie. Marjorie also ended up going to the same university as he did, and they spent a lot of time together during those college years. Jonah said that he liked Marjorie's company, but never felt anything beyond friendship with her, which I totally believe. Jonah dated other women during that period, but also told me that several times Marjorie hinted that she wanted him to ask her out. She also joked about wanting him to be her plan B in case she didn't meet someone and get married by 30. By the time I'd started dating Jonah, he had moved a couple hours away from his hometown, and Marjorie. Despite this, Marjorie immediately began finding excuses to come to our town and hang out, which usually involved her encouraging us to go drinking and then her passing out on the couch at Jonah's apartment. I didn't mind her for the most part, but she had a habit of saying things like, "You know, you ruined our marriage pact, ha 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 ha," and pointing out all the things that she knew about him, like what he took in his coffee, his favorite bands, etc. Over the course of our relationship, and especially after we got married, Jonah definitely put some distance into his relationship with Marjorie. He confided in me that he felt he'd outgrown her, and that they really had little in common anymore. He stopped responding to her invitations to hang out as often, though he would occasionally call up to catch up out of guilt. Especially when she would text him or leave messages saying she was so sad he was ignoring her and the like. But now he's gone. I had him cremated like he wanted. We haven't done the memorial service yet. It was too hard for me to even imagine the first couple of weeks. And I also wanted to give time for some out-of-state people to make travel plans. The memorial is this weekend. However, 2 weeks ago, I received an email from Marjorie, which was sent to around 60 people, including Jonah's family, saying that she was holding a memorial service for Jonah in the town where they grew up, the day before his memorial here. I was completely blown away, seeing as she hadn't mentioned anything to me or even attempted to call. Along with the details, the email said that she was planning the memorial in light of the fact that no other service has yet been held in his memory, and he deserves to be laid to rest with honor. For the record, she was invited to the memorial, which I've been planning, and she knew that it was happening. I called her, of course, and told her that while I appreciated her willingness to help with Jonah's goodbye, I was already planning a service for him that would involve all of his friends and family. She immediately went on the defensive and said that she had only started to plan a service when she realized I wasn't willing to do it in a timely manner. I told her that the timing wasn't her choice to make, but that if she wanted to have a memorial of some kind, to please just add on the invitation that his official memorial was going to be held this weekend. She said fine. I sent a message to all of Jonah's invited friends and family to make sure they knew the real service with both of our families was going to be here, and then just washed my hands of the whole thing. This week, I received a message on Facebook from Jonah's cousin saying that Marjorie, who has apparently blocked me on Facebook, created an event for Jonah's official memorial service, her memorial, and invited everyone she possibly could. I've been getting blown up with emails asking which day the memorial is and where. I'm honestly furious. I don't have the emotional energy to deal with this. I ended up putting a post up on my wall, reiterated the date of his service, and asking people to please share it. Thankfully, I think the older members of the family don't use Facebook or email very often, so most of them haven't been confused. But a lot of people now think that Marjorie's service is the real one. I called Marjorie again, asking her to add an addendum to her event saying that his actual memorial was going to be here. She told me, "Jonah would have wanted it this way, and if you couldn't appreciate my efforts, you're not invited to say goodbye to Jonah." I told her that was fine, seeing as I'd already said goodbye to Jonah when I held him as he died. She hung up. Apparently, she's now spreading information to her mutual friends with Jonah, saying that he was planning on leaving me because I wasn't able to conceive. She also said that we had approached her to carry a baby for us. All absolute lies. His cousin sent me a screenshot of a text where Marjorie said that Jonah always thought that we would have the cutest baby together, and OP doesn't understand how much he wanted children. I'm at a loss of what to do. I don't care what she says about me, but she's now tarnishing my husband's memory, especially saying that he wanted to divorce. Jonah would never have left me, and anyone who knows him at all knows that we were committed to each other above all else. I need to figure out how to tell this woman to F off without encouraging her to spread more lies. And I also want to just forget the whole thing and crawl in bed and never get up again. Help me, please. Then, 2 days later, OP posted an update. I took the advice of the majority of comments and called the chapel where Marjorie was planning her service. I spoke to the pastor, who immediately told me that he'd been trying to get in touch with me regarding the service. Apparently, both Jonah and Marjorie had grown up in that church. I'm not religious, and neither was Jonah as an adult. My voicemail's been flooded, and it's definitely possible that I overlooked his call. He immediately expressed how sorry he was to hear of Jonah's loss, and said that he had received my contact info from Jonah's great aunt who still attends here. He said he was surprised when Marjorie asked to have a service for Jonah, but she had claimed that Jonah and I were separated and I didn't want to be involved. He had been trying to follow up with me, but obviously that didn't happen. He was very apologetic and said that he would cancel the service, or move forward in any way that felt right to me. He said he knew that the church members would appreciate the service, since many of them remembered Jonah as a boy, but obviously Marjorie would no longer have a role. I agreed that the service could go forward. He called to speak with Marjorie after our conversation and informed her that she was no longer welcome to participate in the organization of the service after her behavior. He wouldn't tell me all what she said, but said that she was distraught, and he recommended some mental health and spiritual services to her that he hopes she accepts. She apparently apologized for lying and asked to speak with me, but I declined. I feel bad if she's truly contrite, but I just have too much on my plate right now. We had 2 beautiful services for my husband. First one at his hometown church, and then the non-religious one that I planned. Everyone that came wanted to honor Jonah, and that's all that really matters. I was told dozens of stories about him that I'd never heard before, and I laughed so hard I cried, then cried some more. My cousin was on the lookout for Marjorie, and I honestly didn't think about her the whole weekend. She turned up for the first service, and the pastor ended up speaking with her, unbeknownst to me. My cousin says that he was sympathetic but firm, and told her that her presence there would be inappropriate. Surprisingly, she left without a fuss. Then, 4 months later, OP posted an update. Marjorie still hasn't disappeared. I deleted my social media a couple of months ago in an attempt to simplify my life. But my cousin, who also knows Marjorie, let me know that Marjorie has been recently posting photos of herself on Facebook with Jonah. Some were from several years ago, but she was saying things like, "I still miss my man every day," and Jesus, "I can't wait until Jonah's baby arrives." She's apparently pregnant and claiming that the baby is my husband's. She's also photoshopped his face onto several photos, some of them onto another shirtless male posing semi-suggestively with her. The photoshopping is pretty good, but it's obviously not my husband's body. People have been saying things like, "Congratulations, we know you'll be a great mother to Jonah's child." Nobody I knew, thankfully. It honestly made me feel sick, and I went and laid in bed pretty much all day. I hate that she's getting to me like this, but I can't stand the thought that she's claiming my husband was unfaithful to me and that people are believing it. One bright note is Marjorie's brother, who also knew Jonah. On one of her recent posts, he commented, "WTF, Marjorie? I spoke to Jonah like 2 weeks before he died, and he said he was trying for a baby with OP. You guys were just friends. This is messed up and you know it." The post was deleted a couple of hours later. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't have the energy to battle with this woman, but I'm infuriated and hurt by the blatant, disrespectful pack of lies she's spreading. My cousin called her and asked that she remove the photos, but she apparently said, "OP can go to hell. She just doesn't want to accept that Jonah wanted a baby with me more and she couldn't give him one." I'm lost, guys. What can I do about this? It seems like all I can do is sit and watch this crazy woman trying to convince Jonah's friends and family that he never loved me. Then, 2 weeks later, OP posted an update. Marjorie's brother became very concerned after speaking to me, and apparently questioned Marjorie extensively about her behavior. She continued to claim that she was pregnant with Jonah's baby, and that they had a lengthy affair, but the details didn't add up. She said they were meeting at a hotel at lunchtime 3 days a week, but he knew that Jonah came home for lunch with me every day. Stuff like that. He went home late that night to sleep on it. After he went home, Marjorie came over to see me at 3 a.m. She started screaming at me to come outside, saying I'd ruined her relationship with Jonah, and how happy they were before me, etc. I called the police and her brother, who both arrived the same time. She pushed the police officer, who tried to ask her what was going on, and was immediately arrested. I felt bad for her brother, but he just apologized to me repeatedly. Marjorie yelled expletives and tried to demand special treatment because the police were apparently hurting her baby by keeping her in the car. I gave a statement and they left. Not exactly sure what happened after, but her brother says that she's now under psychiatric evaluation and is apparently struggling with a mental disorder that he wouldn't name. She's apparently not taking her medication in 2 years. I didn't ask for details, but it seems she's going to get some help. I'm not pressing any sort of charges. Her brother also linked me to his posts on social media, where he made it very clear that Marjorie has been having some difficulties, and absolutely none of what she said about Jonah is true. I'm glad this seems to be over, but I've decided I need a fresh start no matter what. I'm looking for a job out of state, and I'll be doing my best to leave my life with Jonah behind. You know, as toxic as Marjorie is in this story, the silver lining is that everyone else in the story is exemplary. OP's cousin blocking Marjorie at the wedding, the priest having OP's back, Marjorie's brother stepping in to control Marjorie and help out OP. OP just had tons of support from everyone around her, which is kind of rare in these stories. Typically everyone sucks in Reddit stories. Our next Reddit post is from rSlash Am I the Butthole. Almost every Friday, my coworkers and I will go out to get drinks and socialize. More often than not, it's an open invitation for the entire office, and even people outside of our team will join. We typically have a great time, but only when Logan, a 20-year-old guy, doesn't show. Logan means well, but is easily excitable and engages people in conversations they're not interested in. The worst of this behavior has to do with spoiling movies, shows, games, etc. A few weeks ago, I mentioned that I had tickets to see the Mortal Kombat movie over the weekend. Logan lit up and immediately responded, "You'll love the scene where spoiler happens and when spoiler shows up." I was bummed and walked away without continuing the conversation. Later that night, Amy, another coworker, was discussing a TV show that she was a few episodes behind in. Logan blurts out, "I can't believe that such and such dies in episode whatever." Amy, who had obviously not yet watched it, went silent and turned away. Logan laughed and said, "I just can't help it. I get too excited." None of us were amused. A few days later, in our team-only group chat, someone brought up Logan's tendency to spoil things and admitted that they wished he weren't invited to outings because of it. Multiple people agreed and began to list everything Logan had spoiled for them. With this in mind, I did not add Logan to the email invite for the next week's hangout. He noticed he never got an invite and began to ask around. Since I was the one who'd written the email, he was eventually directed to me. He pulled me aside as I left for lunch and let me know I excluded him by mistake. Rather than try to play it off, I just told him the truth. That the fact that he spoils everything is obnoxious and rude. I told him that joining conversations just to spoil things is bad enough, but he also starts conversations with spoilers. Logan was immediately defensive, claiming it's not his fault that we're slow to watch or play or whatever, and he's just making conversation. I told him that if he swore he'd be more conscious about this habit, that he could join us that Friday. He came and, lo and behold, spoiled the plot of a movie that I wanted to see in theaters. Out of frustration, I called him a dick and told him this is exactly why no one socializes with him. He left soon after, and even though I said what everyone was thinking, I felt like a butthole. Then OP posted an edit. A few weeks ago, we had lunch catered and all joined in the break room. A coworker had brought a book to read during lunch, and Logan saw the cover, pulled up Wikipedia, and read the entire synopsis aloud, including the big twist ending. I asked him why he would do that, and he responded, "Why not?" Then, 5 days later, OP posted an update. Your responses had me curious, so I tested something out. Last night, our office went out for drinks again, and Logan showed up. At one point, when I knew he was listening, I mentioned a movie that I really wanted to see. I gave the title and named some actors that were in it and left it at that. Logan didn't say anything immediately, but pulled out his phone a few minutes later. The rest of the night went smoothly until I was about to head home. Logan flagged me down and asked me to repeat the movie title I'd mentioned. I repeated the title that I'd given earlier, and Logan got upset. He told me that movie didn't exist. He's right. I made it up. He called me annoying and a killjoy and said that spoilers shouldn't matter if you're just going to watch something anyways. He told me to get over the fact that he likes sharing major plot points and claimed that I ruined his night. And so, as many of you concluded, Logan is just a jerk who enjoys spoiling things. Part of me hopes he spent his entire evening searching for a movie that doesn't exist. Part of me feels bad that he feels that's something he needs to do for whatever reason. Pulling a prank on him might have made me kind of a butthole too, but to be honest, I think it was worth it. What a weird, dumb hobby. Someone in the comments called this guy a vindictive loser, which sounds pretty accurate. That was r/Best of Redditor updates, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.